Well, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo preparing for round 2 of meetings with one of Kim Jong-un's closest confidants in New York City today. So as the White House fights to save the Singapore summit, what do these talks signal for the hope of resurrecting the June 12th meeting? Here now to weigh in is the co-author of The Reaper, Ghost Target, and the former deputy commanding general of U.S. forces in Afghanistan, General Anthony Tata. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it this morning. Always great to have you with us.
Great to be with you, Heather.
So this is the highest-ranking North Korean official from that nation to visit the U.S. since the year 2000. So how significant is this to you?
This is very significant. You know, almost as equally significant as Secretary Pompeo going to Pyongyang. And so what we've got here is a show of real seriousness based on the North Korean government and the United States government. And it's not the only meeting that's taking place. There's other high-level diplomats, Heather, in Panmunjom in the demilitarized zone meeting right now as well, discussing the intricate details of denuclearization. And then there's yet other meetings in Singapore working out logistics. And so between these three meetings, of course, Secretary Pompeo, that's the highest level meeting and probably the most important, because all of that will be communicated directly back to President Trump, because really what the Secretary Pompeo meeting is all about is signaling a go or no-go decision to the president.
Yeah.
He's going to determine whether or not the North Koreans are ready to deal and move forward on this and
whether
denuclearize.
they're serious, whether they're actually serious about what they're going to do. And President Trump has already shown he's ready to step away from it if they're not following through on what he believes they need to do in terms of denuclearization. Last night, I understand their dinner was steak, corn, and cheese. So we'll see how far they got with that. But they are planning meetings throughout the day today. And what, in terms of options, does North Korea have in terms of denuclearization? Can we go through some of the options that they have, the possibilities, and begin with handing over some of their nuclear weapons, which has done before? People talked about what John Bolton mentioned. He mentioned Libya. He mentioned that because of handing over some of the nuclear weapons in advance.
Yeah, I would say Libya or any other country, Heather, is not a good example, because its context is everything, and so what you don't want to do is send the wrong signal to the people with whom you're negotiating. And there's no other country like North Korea. It's the Hermit Kingdom. They've tested 6 nuclear weapons that we know of. They have pretty extensive intercontinental ballistic missile capability, very different than Libya. And so what they've got here is the potential to immediately turn over some nukes right away. They can take a phased approach and then, freeze all testing, and then, through the phased approach, then continue to denuclearize and allow for very transparent inspections. And that's what I think the Pompeo talks are all about right now. And I think it's very wise of the president to have these talks going on right now and to take advantage of, Kim Jong-un was, rumored to be educated in the West and in Switzerland, and he came to power with 2 visions. One is a powerful nuclear arsenal, and the other is a mighty economy. And while he does not have either, but he may be willing to trade the nuclear arsenal to enhance his economy. I've been in South Korea. It's the same people. Many families are divided by that 38th parallel. And the same work ethic is in the North as in the South. They just need proper leadership.
Right. Then what would we bring to the table? Because obviously we learned a lesson with Iran. We're not going to, put up a lot of money up front.
No, I think the opportunity here, Heather, is that what you really have is a country that needs massive infrastructure development. And so what the United States can do is say, look, Kim Jong-un, you came to power wanting 2 things, nukes and a strong economy. Take the nukes off, trade that away. It will help you with your strong economy. Your partner to the South, and these talks may actually be about reunification. It's a bigger picture for me than just denuclearization. I think there's a holistic discussion about reunification and the economy.
Yeah, that brings up a whole nother issue, because you got to bring China into it. And does China really want the reunification of South Korea and North Korea? That's a whole other topic that we'll get into for another day. But thank you so much, as always, for joining us, General Tata. We appreciate it.